Well, Jerry, a frustrating afternoon for your side. What are your immediate reflections on that game?
Well, I want to send out an apology first. I haven't done that very often. So from myself and the players, the staff, that's not acceptable, that performance. And that's not saying because we've lost to a lower level team. It's just where our levels were really poor, especially the first half. I thought we never really got out of the jog. I thought we found it really difficult again to get up to the ball. And that's a little bit alarming because maybe with these late winners it may have smoothed over some of the cracks rather. But our performances have been better than that. This wasn't a very positive performance. I don't know whether those games, 8 games in those period of time, as I said, a game every 3.5 days, is caught up with the players. We've asked a few questions there. We'll get some answers back obviously next week. But it's really disappointing. We wanted an FA Cup run as much as the fans. The boys were so hungry for it. We wanted it, and unfortunately we've been knocked out. And yeah, we haven't done enough. We haven't done enough in this game to get back level. We haven't done enough certainly to win it. So credit to them. But this was a really below par Bath City performance.
And you've mentioned there particularly about the first half, but given the way your side has come back so many times this season, at half time, did you still have confidence they could do that again?
Yeah. No, we did. We knew we had to change it because it just wasn't, we do it to change it tactically. We weren't getting Elliott in the game really. Chris wasn't able to have an influence on the game. We felt as if we needed more legs in the middle of the pitch because they were creating quite a few overloads in there with their 2 10s coming off the side. And we started the second half really brightly, didn't we? I thought we came out the blocks, really aggressive, ran forwards, played forward, but there wasn't enough in it. And we've had a couple of half chances. Codes has headed a couple over. Scotty, I remember one at the near post there was deflected and gone out. Luke's had an opportunity to skide over the thing. Our free kicks weren't really good enough. So yeah, we believe we get back in it. Of course, because we've done it in recent weeks, you never know with this team. But as I said to you, we didn't do enough today. We didn't. I have to be totally honest, brutally honest about it. That was a really below performance from us. We need to look at it. Go back to how we've been sort of maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago before this period of busy games. Look what we've been good at. But like I said, I'm distraught really that we're out of the FA Cup. I really wanted it for the fans. The fans have been brilliant with us, and I wanted to give it to the fans and to the football club if we could as a group. So hopefully now it's a realisation to when you think you've got it cracked, you haven't. We're 6th in the league still, so there's no disheartenment there. There's no disappointment with that. But it also is very, very tight in the league. We know that, so we're going to have to lick our wounds quite quickly, accept everything we're going to get tonight and all next week. Hopefully people know that this is still a very, very good side. It's only one game. It's the FA Cup, of course. We understand it, the importance. But we have to really focus now and concentrate on our league position and try and consolidate that top playoff finish if we can.
Kind of touched on it there, but it was just a second defeat in 12 for your side. They have been on a really good run, particularly in the league. Is the key thing now how they actually bounce back on Tuesday in the Somerset Premier Cup, but particularly next Saturday in the league match here against Hungerford?
Yeah, I mean Tuesday's not so important because I'm going to have to give people some game time, maybe some younger players in it as well. I have to protect the boys that are really fatigued at the moment. But the league is going to be our focus, of course. We have to bounce back. We have to put in a performance that's going to be worthy of winning and getting 3 points. You go into every game trying to get 3 points. But today it's not like we've been cut open loads, but they looked like they had an extra yard in their legs. It looked like they moved the ball at times a little bit quicker than us. We were very laboured and lethargic, probably is the word I'm going to use. We looked very lethargic today. Players don't do that on purpose. It's not. I've asked them there, why is it and why do you think that happens? But it's difficult to answer that, isn't it? Because that's sometimes a psychological thing rather than a physical thing. So if your body can't quite move and you're trying to tell it to move, how do you deal with that as a player? So it's no excuse. I'm not using it as an excuse at all. We haven't been good enough, and I've said that now on several occasions here, but it's really important now that we have to focus on the positive stuff that we're about, the positive stuff that some of the individuals and the collective have done, and try and get back into the league campaign in a real positive frame of mind. What we don't want to turn up with our next game on Saturday and have a hangover from this. That has to be gone. It has to be cleared. As I said, the next 48 hours, and maybe until Wednesday or Thursday we'll have to deal with what you get. I'd suggest they avoid reading stuff because it does them no good. I'm going to avoid reading it. But this is a team that's only lost 2 games in 12, and we have to remember that as well. But be bitterly disappointed tonight that we've gone out of the FA Cup.
Cody Cook went off with what looked like a nasty looking head injury. Do you have any idea how long he might be out for?
No, I couldn't really see it, to be honest, because obviously Sarah's patching him up there. I think Elliot's taken him off to the hospital. I think he's just come back actually downstairs, so I'll go and see him in a minute in the bar. See, he looked a real nasty gash, it was streaming out, so that was obviously a blow to us, losing Cody, because he's such a key player to our team. But I just felt as if we couldn't get our key players in the game. We've got some really effective players in this team, and we couldn't get Elliot Freer in it, we couldn't get Cody Cook in it, couldn't get Alex Fletcher, and it's twofold. They have to move to get on the ball, and I don't think we did that enough at all over the pitch. So whether it's a full-back receiving it off a centre-back to free themselves up so they can play forward, or you're up against a player and you can't, you've got to go backwards, or whether you're a midfield player that needs to find some space to open up to play forward, or a striker, like I said, getting across the right side of the pitch when you're on the ball and making sure you can link it and secure the ball and help us to build. I just don't think we did that enough. I think there was a lot of, look, let your teammate have it, and we can't get across. They understand it, but they just couldn't for some reason get across and support. So yeah, some of our patterns today weren't as good as what we have been, and obviously we'll have to look at that as well. We'll see how Cody is, and hopefully he's fine for next week.
And you're without a few other players as well, Joe Rains and Danny Greenslade still actually likely to have either of those, or Zach Bell and Tommy Back back available within the next week?
Well, the two Bristol City boys I don't know, if I'm being honest at the moment. Zach's been away on international duty, so only just come back. Tommy's been serving a suspension, so I'll speak to them on that one. Yeah, Joe Rains is hopeful of running on Tuesday, so he's going to step up his rehabilitation and may be available for next week. Danny will be available for next week. We're hoping to get some minutes into him on Tuesday night. Give him maybe an hour or so if we can, to make sure he's okay. He's done everything he possibly can, but couldn't play today. And that'll help us a little bit as well with having a natural left back in there as well. We know what he does. He's very steady in that position, gets forward, really good delivery. So yeah, we've got Dan Hayfield playing at right back. He doesn't want to play at right back, of course. He's doing a job for us. So, but again, I'm not using these as excuses, Michael. This is just how it is with football teams. You know, we haven't got a load of strength in depth, but they've been good enough to go and get results in recent weeks anyway. So yeah, tonight I'm really disappointed, and like I say, I send my apologies to the supporters, to everyone at the football club, from myself and all the staff and players, because I have to do that. I feel like I want to do that. Make sure next week we have a good training week after Tuesday. Make sure we do that right, the Tuesday game, and prepare properly for Saturday.
Well, thanks for your time and hard luck this afternoon.
Cheers. Thanks, Michael.